Hello, my name is William, and I am going to give you a quick demo of Osano's data subject rights management capabilities. So, in order to manage a subject rights request, what some people call it SRR, subject rights request, or sometimes they call them a DSAR, a data subject access request, what we call a DSAR, you need a few things. So the first thing you need is a way to capture and process that information. And what Asano does is it gives you DSAR forms right out of the box. What's nice about these is they capture information that you need that you may be missing if you're only processing DSARs via email. So if you have an email address, like a lot of people have privacy at theircompany.com or DSAR at theircompany.com, but there's several challenges with this. One is you get a lot of emails. You can get a lot of spam. How do you verify? You can also get a lot of fraud. How do you know that the person that is sending you from that email address is not spoofing the email or sending some kind of nefarious email headers? How do you know that's actually coming from the real person's email? And how do you know that they're actually sending you all the information that you need? So they might just say, process my data or give me my data. But do you have all the information you need? Maybe you need their first and last name. Maybe you need more than just their email. Maybe you need some other information. Osado allows you to capture all the necessary information you need, allows you to verify people's emails automatically, and make sure that you can cut that spam and that you can process DSARs faster and easier. So, uh, like I said, these forms come out of the box. They're very easy to use. With one line of code, you can either copy and paste a link and add that link to, you, let's say, like your email footer or to your privacy page, or with one line of JavaScript, you can actually embed that form in any page. So you can put your own website branding around it and just embed this form. What's also nice is every DSAR form comes with its own unique forwardable email address. So if you have an existing email today, let's say privacy at yourcompany.com, you want to keep using it for a lot of reasons, you can just forward it to this Osano generated email. What that will do is any emails that come in will get forwarded to this address. Osana will automatically respond to them and send them to your DSAR form so that, again, you can verify their email, you can capture all the correct information that you need. And so all of your DSARs that come in have everything you need to run them, and you're not wasting a lot of time tracking down information around people, going back and forth in email, those kinds of things. Once a request comes in, then what does it look like to process that request? Well, Asana is going to automate large parts of it for you. Let me show you what that looks like. So the first thing, as I mentioned, is going to be the email verification. Email will be sent to the data subject that makes the request. They'll have to verify their email, and in some cases, that's all you will need in order to verify someone's identity. Let's say somebody's identity in your system is their email address. And we've sent an email to that email. They've had to verify that email. In some cases, you can know, okay, now their identity is verified. In other cases, depending on your jurisdiction or your company policy, maybe you might have more stringent needs to verify identity. Maybe you need a picture of a government issued ID, and they can upload that photo right to Asana. You can just see it appears right here to make it easy for you to verify. In some cases, you might need them to upload other files, like, for example, a power of attorney if they're submitting a rights request on somebody else's behalf. And Asana allows you to capture all of those files, whether it's photos or documents, in the request. They show up right here and make it easy to verify that identity. So I'm going to mark this one identity verified. And what Asana is now going to do is kick off a bunch of automation to make your life easier. So if you were manually processing this, what you would need to do is you would need to keep track of all of the places where you have data stored. This might be in SaaS applications, places like Salesforce or MailChimp or HubSpot. Any of the SaaS applications you use, you might have user personal information there that you need to go and search, and any other type of data stores that you might have. So this might be, let's say, like a custom database. You might have like a Postgres database that is managed by a database manager in your company, and it happens to store customer information. And when you get a DSAR request, that database also needs to be searched. So if you were managing this process via spreadsheets, you would need to go down the spreadsheet and email all of your data store owners, all of the admins of your various applications, pass along to them the information and say, we have a request from Warren. This is their email address. Can you please search this data store and find if they have any personal information? And in this case, they've asked for a summary of their data. So can you please package it up into a CSV file and send that to me so that I can then collate all those CSV files together and send them to the user? And I have to do all of this manually. But you can see that with Osano, it's actually going to automate this. So Osano has many integrations for your most commonly used applications. And if it's an automated data store like this, like Salesforce that we have an integration with, Osano is going to automatically search it for this user, find any personal information or PI that's in that data store, and automatically package it into a sensitive information redacted CSV that is ready to share with the user. And Asana is even going to make it easy to share that. I'll show that in just a little bit. This is what we call an automated data store. You might also have, as I mentioned, like a custom database. We call this a manual data store because it still needs to be processed. But what's nice is instead of looking at a spreadsheet, figuring out who do I need to email for every single request and sending out that spread of emails, Asana is going to automate all of that for you. So it's automatically going to email anybody who is an admin or an owner of this database, and you can configure that and send them and say, hey, you have a DSAR to process. That's going to then notify them that they have a request to process, and it's allowing them to get to come over here to Asano and process that request. So let me show you what that looks like. This is the view of a data store owner. So in this case, let's say there are several owners of this database and several of us that could possibly process this. But in order to stop us from stepping on each other or duplicating work, those kinds of things, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to claim the request. This is going to say I'm going to go and process this so that my other colleagues that are also owners of this database don't go and duplicate the work. I have all the information I need, including the string to search for, what the action I need to take. In this case, I need to summarize the data with the field names of the database, and I can see more information about the customer and what their request ID is as such. And even if I've configured Asano, I can even tell my data store owners what fields to search for. So in this case, we know that this database has going to have an email, a first name, and a last name. And these are the fields that I want to have in my summary. So this person has gone and searched the database, found that file, and they're going to go ahead and upload the CSV file that they've created and add it here. And they're going to go ahead and say, I summarize this data and mark that complete. Of course, maybe if no action was taken, they could say that. But in this case, we're going to mark this one complete. And back over on our request, we can now see that both of my action items are complete. And you can do this for any number of data stores. If you have 10 or 20 or 100, all of the automated ones will capture the CSV on their own, and any of the manual ones will automatically notify your data store owners to let them know they have some processing to do and give them an easy way to share with you so that you as a privacy program owner or as a data subject access request manager, now you have all of the data to share with the user. So in this case, I'm going to say I want to review this request. I can see these are the files that I need to send to the user that are all packaged together. And I now want to package and send the files. And this is there's a lot of nice features of Asano, but the last one I'll point out here is our secure message portal. What happens very often is sometimes in the process of a DSAR, you need to communicate with your data subject. At a minimum, you need to package up and send the files to them, but you may need to ask them additional questions. For example, they may have left off the power of attorney, and you might need to ask them, can you please send your power of attorney? Well, if you do this via email, What this does is now it creates data sprawl. So you have someone who's calling and asking and or who's emailing and asking and saying, maybe delete all of my data, but you're creating more data through the process. By using Osano's secure messaging portal, you're keeping all of that in one secure location rather than spreading it out through email. And this makes it easy to communicate with those data subjects also by not exposing personal email addresses externally and those kinds of things. So I could send messages back and forth to my data subject if I need to, or in this case, I just want to package up and send them all of their files. So with one button, it's actually going to take these CSV files and send them. Here is a summary of your request in one zip file that they can download, and now I've completed my DSAR. So rather than needing to work through spreadsheets that, maybe I can mistype something or I can forget somebody, Osano's tracked all of my owners. It's automatically notified them. It's automated a lot of my data capture for me. And it's made it easy with one click to package up that data and send it to the user that requested it. And now I can mark this DSAR complete. This is how Osano can help you process DSARs at scale, save you a lot of time, and make sure that you are compliant with the privacy regulations. Thanks a lot.